Hello everyone, I'm excited because today is the first episode on the wise builders. The wise builders. The wise man builds a house on a rock. Today I'll be talking on how to build a sustainable relationship. Yes, I mean sustainable relationship. I was married for 13 good years, and can I tell you something? My marriage was built on a wrong and shaky relationship. Yes, I was married, and nowadays we should be very careful. I know a lot of people are going to criticize this. You may either like it or you don't like it, but on this channel I'll be talking about or exposing the truth in the church, the truth in the community, the truth in the family. Family. We make up the community, we make up the society. We get into marriages, we give birth to children that are looking up to us. But what example are we showing these children? What foundation are we building on? Like I said earlier on, I married a very wonderful, loving man, but that came from a disjointed family, and unfortunately he did not realize who he was or who he is until he died. Yes, building into marriages, building the foundation of your marriage. How are you working on your marriage? What foundation are you laying before you get into your marriage? Most of us nowadays, we're under pressure. I say to ladies nowadays, or men, take your time. Parents, stop victimizing or putting children under pressure to get married. As at the time I got married, I'd waited on the Lord and I prayed so much. I waited, I fasted because I wanted to get it right. But eventually I got it wrong. Yes, I got it wrong. I didn't pick my husband from the streets. I married from the church. I'm not going to mention the name of the church here, because that is not the focus. I was born again when I got married, and I married a supposed born again child of God. We met in the church, we went through counseling, we got married. But I went into the marriage. It was after my first child that I realized that my marriage was on a wrong foundation. During the counseling, of course, a lot of things came out, and I realized my partner had already been in another relationship before. And I went and I did my findings, but the parents covered up, and they said to me the woman had gone. And innocently, I got married to my loving Prince Charm, and we were happy until after the marriage and things started coming up. The essence of this program is, once you find yourself, I want you to check yourselves where you are. Is your marriage right? If it's not right, don't walk out of your marriage. There's still so much to be done. But stop deceiving yourselves. Most of us delude ourselves that the problem is going to go away. Most of us, we end up praying and fasting every day, not addressing the main issues of the marriage. The issues will not go away with prayer. They will only go away with counseling and you approaching the issues and resolve to solving it. Yes, after marriage, for example, like in my own case, I became pregnant, there was a child, and a lot of revelations came in, and I realized, yes, I'm into it, because the person I married had already 2 children, and the woman had not gone, unlike what the parents that went to meet in Africa told me. They told me she's gone, she committed adultery and she's gone, and they packaged everything, they packaged me in. Now, what package are you sitting on? I found myself in this, and what helped me was the Lord. I was confused, I was naive, I was angry, I was mad. I started speaking to counselors, I started speaking to pastors. I couldn't, because in a situation like this, especially some of us, most of us that you are out there watching me, most of us are into one faith or the other. You know what faith does in marriages? Most times it kills it instead of building it. You want to live a make-believe life? You don't know, want the church to know what you're going through. You come to church every Sunday, or you go to your mosque, or you go to wherever you go to worship God. And then you put up a face that all is going on well. Meanwhile, like I was doing those days, I used to cry. And at the slightest opportunity to see a man of God I could confide in, I crawled to them to say, pray with me, this is what I'm going through. But step by step, I started working with it. Eventually, God stabilized a lot of things. In my own case, God told me to stay, which I will be discussing step by step of how, by the grace of God, God gave me the peace and the grace in my marriage. Such might not be yours. What foundation did you meet in? Most of us, especially Africans, because we want to please our community, because we don't want people to talk, we cover up a lot of things. It's not right for you to cover up. It is very, very important for you to seek help. So what foundation are you sitting on? How did you build on your marriage? In my own case, I paddled the boat, the man paddled the boat. He'd already met himself in a lot of unfortunate circumstances. And all you could just do is, let me keep working until, however. I don't want your situation to be like that. And that is the essence of this program. I'll be talking to us. If you find yourself, please comment, share. Let's talk together. Let us walk through your marriage. What you're going through, God is going to solve it. Yes, but God needs you to seek help. Speak to your pastor, speak to counselors. Don't sit on any abusive relationship, be it psychological, emotional, physical, financial. In the church, a lot of this, I see it every day, and I look at people covering up. This is a wrong foundation. It's still going to bust. However long you paddle it, 10, 20, 30 years, it's going to bust. So why don't you build wisely? If I were you, forget about the wobble foundation. It happened, but you can still build. You can start building. Before you now build, you have to go back to that foundation, go back to drawing board, sit your man down and tell him, or sit your woman down and tell her, this is not on. Let us work on this. Let us resolve to doing these things. These things are there, and it eats into us like cancer. Remember, young children, I was speaking to a friend and we're talking about marriages. Now, children are looking at you. If you are not careful, your children are going to walk in the same way if you do not address these issues. And it happens so much in the church. I've seen pastors, I've seen ministers, I've seen choir leaders, I've seen people in the community. Somebody was just saying to somebody recently that it's a man thing. It's not possible for me not to have a girlfriend, to have a side chick. It's wrong because you're damaging. You're building wrongly. Whatever you think you're doing now is going to catch up with you one way or the other. And you have to remember there are children that are watching you. So this channel, it's all about what we're going through. Our experiences, my experience, as loving and romantic and good my husband was. He was a weakling. He couldn't handle situation because he couldn't say no to parental advice and pressures. So he had to keep going and keep listening to their voices. Are you in your marriage with another family? Are you in the marriage with another woman? I married and there was another woman, the other woman, in the background throughout my marriage. Every day I wake up, I shake my head as if it's going to go, but it wouldn't go. So how are you going to resolve this? In my next episode, I'm going to talk about steps. This week, like I said, it's about relationship. Some other time we'll talk about faith. Some other time we'll talk about our career. Faith, what our pastors are doing nowadays, is a shame. They are not leading us well. They are not setting good examples for us. A lot of people are losing. I'm ashamed to go out nowadays and preach because the next thing they're going to say is you're one of them. Whilst in my marriage, most times I cry. I'm like, where's Christ in this? But sometimes we cannot talk out. I'm happy I have a testimony now because I have myself to contend with. The only person I took permission before going live is my son to tell him I'm going to be sharing about my life. And he said, Mom, it doesn't matter. That's what you stand for. So I plead with you. Let's build wisely. The book of Matthew 7:24 says, a wise man. Listen to that. A wise man. Are you wise? If you are wise, then you won't destroy yourself. You won't destroy your home. You won't destroy your career. You won't destroy what you... Why must you build on false or falsehood? Because it's still going to crash eventually. So be the wise man. Join the wise builders as we work together on how to build our home. As we work together, how to build these children, how to build the church of God, how to be, let it be said of you that you've done the one you can do. Let's try and do what we are able to do so that the community and the life we are in can be a better place. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you next time or speak to you on my channel. Please like it, share the Wise Builders. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to us. We're coming up every Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Somebody said to me, are you on TV yet? I can't afford it yet. By the grace of God, if God enlarges my coast, then we'll go on TV. But now I'm going to use all social media. Thank you very much. See you next time. Until then, be a wise builder. Love you. Bye-bye.